It's time for the Brouhaha Sports Show. Brouhaha Sports with award-winning sports writer Dale McKee and co-host Marshall Wood. Talking sports with the legends of the game and famous sports personalities. Brouhaha. Now to Marshall and Dale with tonight's guest.
Good evening, everyone. Marshall Wood, Dale McKee, Brouhaha. 1, 2, 3, ABC. There it all is. Simple as that, Dale.
Is it?
Brouhaha time.
Okay.
How you doing there, buddy? You been involved in a big brouhaha today?
Nah, not really.
Yeah.
Not really.
Care to be?
Not really. Not really. Not really. What about yourself?
No, I'm doing pretty good.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
You're one of them working people now, right?
Yeah, I'm still among the working.
Why is it my age I still have to pay taxes? Would you tell me? I just like to know. I mean, couldn't
That's a great question.
Couldn't you younger guys?
I've heard you say this. That's a great question.
Couldn't you younger guys kind of,
Younger guy.
help her out a little bit so we don't have to pay? I mean, my God, I paid all my life and they still want me. I'll be paying after I die. I probably would.
I'd be glad to help you if I could.
Really? I'm
Yeah.
sure you would.
Sure I would.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You got any exciting sports news for us?
No.
I got a question.
Oh, there was a fight.
Was there a fight?
There was a fight up at the Ole Miss LSU game.
I saw some. Mama said, knock you out. Mama said, knock you out. What the song said.
So anyway, I might have to try to run to Oxford on September 19th just to see all the fights in the grove.
There ought to be some good ones.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be nasty.
Oh, yeah. I imagine LSU fans will show up even if they don't have football tickets to that game, just to get into a little skirmish.
They like to do it, don't they?
They think they've had some people in Oxford. They got the double-decker next week, where they have that little double-decker English bus riding around.
Yeah.
And all that stuff, and they got a bunch of festivities up there. And I'm thinking about going if everything works out.
You going to do a brouhaha from up there?
Nah, I'll just try to get us.
Or you just going to start one?
No, I'm not going to do that either. I used to do a little boxing and wrestling when I was when my dad was in the Army.
Yeah?
Yeah, they would give us boxing lessons and wrestling lessons. I really enjoyed the wrestling. I really did.
If I had one thing to do, if I go back to high school one more time, I would have wrestled.
Yeah.
I really regret. I went to a school where we had that, and I really regret. They're doing that in Mississippi now, some.
Well, the only reason I really didn't get, at the time when I was wrestling, they went by weight limits.
Yeah.
And the weight limits was, who wants to be 112 pounds in 11th grade?
Yeah.
And wrestle. So,
I'd see these guys climb up in the top of the old gyms and wear sweatsuits and sit in front of heaters.
Oh, I've seen them take Coke cans. Now, they weren't dipping.
Yeah.
They were just spitting. Spitting.
Get rid of every pencil, every ounce you could.
But I think I've got the answer now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I try to drink about 60 ounces of water a day.
Oh.
That seems to take a lot of weight off sometimes.
Wow.
Some days,
It does?
Yeah. For some people, it does.
Oh, okay. I was just checking you out there.
Yeah. Hey, did you, I know this is off the sports thing, but I saw something on the TV station Monday. They're going to have a little play up there at the at Wayne Academy.
Yeah.
It's called The Lions King. And they were interviewing the participants and all that. And I thought back to my younger days when I wanted to be a movie star.
Yeah.
I wanted to be like Frankie Avalon.
Frankie Avalon?
Yeah. I liked him because wasn't he the one in there with Annette Fucicella?
That'd be the one.
That'd be the one?
Yeah.
Well, I thought Annette and I would be a good couple back in high school.
Easy now. You treading on dangerous territory.
Yeah, I thought. No. Not for marriage. Just to help her image out a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Because I thought I was better looking than Frankie. And I thought I'd be a great star, too.
Yeah.
Maybe not a John Wayne, but...
Well, you are a star. I mean, you're on the Brouhaha.
That's true, too.
Your star shines brightly.
Every time somebody comes on our show, they feel like that. I was on the Great Hunter Dawkins' show Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was
turned into favor?
And I was on Mitch Williams last Monday week ago, I think it was.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to listen. Not only do we have a Brouhaha official Brouhaha guy to come on this show and talk, because it's his show, but he gets, man, you are people like we get to come on here. That's pretty cool, Dale. You're like what we're looking for.
Really?
Yeah, you're just the kind of guy we're looking for.
Really?
Yeah.
How about that? Have you told the people that we might be on 2 radio stations in Hattiesburg?
That's not my pay grade. That's you and Jamie handle that. What's up? You got some news for us?
No.
Oh, okay.
I thought you might know since you're the director and producer.
Well, I don't get ahead on the
general
announcements.
manager of this show.
Certainly, there has to be a timing on certain things. We just don't run amok among the public telling things that we may or may not do.
Well, I'm trying to put a little pressure on some folks.
I hope it works. I hope it works. And you may realize, we'll have a little discussion off there, and you may want it to work more than you think. Oh boy, we're having fun. We got a guest tonight?
Yeah, I think so.
Has he got a name?
Yeah, Stan the Man.
Stan the Man Caldwell.
Yeah.
Been with us before.
Did you ever see the Seinfeld episode?
I saw a sign.
Where Kramer asked, he was suing this girl because he got hurt in an accident or something, and he was suing her. And he leaned back. It was a kind of a deal like the O.J. Simpson thing.
Yeah.
He said, "What do you think, Stan the Man?" He said, "You can make this putt."
You can make it putt, son. That's what I'm talking about.
And guess what?
What?
Kramer's lawyer went crazy. You can't do that.
That Kramer, one of my favorite individuals in history. He was a good one.
Well, I talked to several people, and I didn't really start watching that show until it was in reruns, basically. But I've got people that have different clues on it, but it's usually George or Kramer. It's not Jerry.
No, George Kramer's where the action is.
I didn't actually think Jerry was a great actor. George, after you hear stories, was super, and Kramer was the only one that could play Kramer.
Yeah.
I don't know if they could have found anybody else.
No, you can forget about it. They had one when they were going to have to show the guy that was going to play him, but anyway.
But George's lifestyle I really liked.
Okay.
Did nothing.
Yeah, he had that nap. He had that under his desk where he'd go to sleep while he was at work. I got one of those. We're not going to talk about that. But anyway, I'll tell you what. Let's take a break to hear from. I'm really having a good time, Dale, and I hate to stop you when we're on such a roll, but let's take a break to hear from our sponsor and get back with tonight's guest after this commercial break. Stan Caldwell. See you after the commercial break.
Phillips Building Supply in Laurel, your hometown building supply store since 1954. We are locally owned and pride ourselves on helping our customers find exactly what they need. From foundations to roofs to doors and windows, Phillips has it. For tools, hardware, lumber, and plywood, visit Phillips Building Supply.
Welcome to the show, Stan Caldwell. Stan,
how are you, Dale?
I'm doing good. How are you doing? We appreciate.
I'm great. I've had a great spring. I got my daughter married off about a month ago there, and so we're just gonna roll. The weather's great, and it's spring is sprung.
Well, when my two left the nest, as we say, I seemed to have more money then after they left. I couldn't understand that. Every month,
I will say my daughter and her husband, they financed most of their own wedding. They did it most themselves. We helped a little bit, but they had saved up and they did most of it on their own. I was real proud of them.
Well, that's great, and congratulations. I know that you're really proud.
Thank you.
So
yeah, it was a great wedding.
So where are they going to live now?
Well, they live in Houston. They've got an apartment down. She works at MD Anderson Cancer Center as a lab tech. So she's they both live in Houston. He was actually born and raised there in Spring. So he's a geologist, and she's a lab tech. She's doing real well.
Well, my niece is a lawyer down there, and she's married to a guy that's a lawyer too, and they live in the Woodlands. And my oldest son, when he first got out of college from Southern Miss, he went to Weatherford Oil down there, and downtown Houston, and he lived out at a place called Katy. So anyway,
yeah, I know exactly where that's at.
So that's a good area. But
in fact, the wedding wasn't too far from Katy. It was over in Sugarland. So yeah.
Sugarland, yeah, that was for the great running back from what was it? Where was he from? SMU, Eric Dickerson.
Yeah, what was that guy? I don't remember his name. Yeah, but he was in Elroy. Maybe was that it? Does that sound familiar?
No.
I don't know. Don't quote me on that, kid, Dale. I don't know. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. So yeah,
I figure you
ran for about a gazillion yards in high school.
Yeah, I think that was Eric Dickerson. Went on to play for the Rams and the Colts. Wore glasses, wore goggles, and his helmet.
Well, Dale, it's high school baseball playoff time.
Well, let's talk about it.
It's an exciting time of the year.
Who's going to win?
If I knew that, I'd go to the vote, man. I tell you what, but starting in 4A though, it looks like a really good field in Class 4, especially in 4A South. Actually, West Lauderdale is in 4A South now, and after they were been in the Northwest last year, they're the defending state champions. They've had a little bit of a rough year, 12-13 overall, but they are the number one seed out of their region, and they will, as always. Jason Smith does a bang-up job with that program at West Lauderdale, and they're going to be a factor to deal with. A couple other teams in 4A keep an eye on. Poplarville, 20-8, they're having a really good year. Greene County, Scott Bray is back in charge at Greene County after several years at administration. He coached them to the state championship way back in 2003. So he's back, and they're having a great year, 18-7. Mendenhall is 16-4. I don't know how good their region is, but they're the top seed in their region. So it's going to be a really good tournament. The North's got some really good teams. Moorville's always good, 19-6 overall. Ripley, 18-6. They're going to be there, I think. Playing late. The 4A looks like a real competitive setup in the playoffs.
Well, tell us a little bit about the 5A playoffs
all right, 5A playoffs. Right now in the South, of course, in 3-5A, they're done with region play in 3-5A. Summerall is the one. They're South Jones is the 2. North Pike is the. Take that back. Summerall is the 1. South Jones and North Pike still have a game left to play Thursday. South Jones won the first game, 11-1. The second game was rained out. It matters too because South Jones is 7-2 in the region. North Pike is 6-3. North Pike would probably have to beat South Jones by 10 just to get to the tiebreaker, but still, it's not completely decided there. Brookhaven's going to be the 4 in that region. 4-5A looks like it's going to be wild. Now there are right now Northeast Jones and Purvis are tied at 9-3 in the region. They play 3-game series, and they still got one left. Purvis has got East Central, and East Central is 8-4 in the region. They're right in there also. Northeast Jones has got Van Cleve this week. Van Cleve is 5-7. They're fighting for a playoff spot with Stone County, and Stone County's got Wayne County. Wayne County is out, but they could really make Stone County's make Stone County kind of sad with this week's series of games there. So a lot to be determined there. 5A is going to be. I think the South is dominant in 5A. I don't see anybody in the 5A North that looks like they could hang with Summerall, Purvis, or even South Jones. And I don't know about East Central. They're always really good too. So, 5A looks like the South is going to be the kind of the teams that beat down in 5A.
Well, you've also you probably got a little heartbeat on 6 and 7A baseball. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, 7A. Let me talk about 7A a little bit. About the 3 of the regions of 7A are already fully decided. They're done with region play. But in Region 3 7A, which is the one we're really interested in here in the Hattiesburg area, that is still a chase to be had. They still got games to play. This is showdown week in Region 3 7A because Northwest Rankin's got Brandon this week for 2 games, and then it's Oak Grove and Petal for 2 games also, and that's going to be determined. Northwest Rankin leads right now 7-1 in the region, 21-4 overall. Brandon is 6-2. Oak Grove is 6-2, and Petal is 5-3. Those are going to be your playoff teams in that region, but the order is still very much up in the air, and that's going to be interesting to see how these 4 games play out this week. Northwest Rankin, Brandon, and Oak Grove and Petal. Of course, always a good atmosphere when Oak Grove and Petal hook up there. Not a lot of love lost between the Panthers and the Warriors in this part of the country. 4-7A over on the coast. Ocean Springs having a fabulous year. They're 23-2 overall. They went 15-0 in their region, and that tells you a little bit about what they've got coming into the postseason. St. Martin's got a really good program, also 16-9. They're going to be tough to beat. And then of course in the north you got Tupelo, Lewisburg, all great programs. Oxford 16-8, Madison Central. They're all going to be. It's going to be a real wild playoff race once everything gets settled in. They start the 6-7A postseason a week from Friday.
Well, you know what you just said about that 7A. You're talking about Petal being 5-3 and 4th, and Oak Grove 6-3 or what it was, and just going through that with Brandon and Northwest Rankin. I mean, you're telling me that who gets hot may win that thing. They may be the 4th in the region to start out with and end up winning it because that's a tough baseball region. And of course, anytime you play the teams up north like an Oxford or a Madison Central or somebody like that, you're going to be in for a battle too, And I think,
whoever gets the Trustmark out of the south is going to face a pretty good team out of the north. So that's going to be a really good series. Whoever plays in that 7A final up at Trustmark. But there's a lot of baseball left to go before we get to that point.
Okay. Well, listen.
Of course. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, well, no, I was just going to ask you a quick question. I was curious about this. How is the in all sports for this school? How is it going for the adjustment for PCS from the private to the public?
Glad you asked me that because I had that PCS has really adjusted well. They're going to be the favorite to win the South in 3A, I believe. I saw them Friday night against St. Stanislaus. And they've got a really fine team. They got 2 outstanding pitchers, Banks and Walters, big right-hander, 6'3", the Southern Miss signee. And then they've got another kid, Tyner Flint, left-hander. He's been hurt a little bit this year, but he had a fabulous game Friday night against the Rocketshaws. They're going to be tough to beat. And not just they've had a good year all the way around. They got to the second round of the playoffs. I believe they lost to Raleigh in the second round by a touchdown, which considering how Raleigh was this year, nothing to hang your head about. Both their basketball teams were played deep in the postseason, and in soccer, of course, they're always good in soccer. At whatever in whatever league they're in. So they have adjusted real well, and they are going to be the team to beat in 3A. I think coming to not just from the south, but also I think from the north. Well, they have really, adjusted. It was good news. It was long overdue. The travel was. I know a lot of people who have kids in the PCS program, and they always they were complaining about traveling 3 trips to Jackson a week, in 10 days, constantly, motoring all over the state. It got to me too, and they've developed relationships with the public schools in this area. They've been playing Petal in basketball for years. They've had a football series with Sunwall, several other public schools. So they were already easing into it. The last 3 or 4 years before they finally bit the bullet and went ahead and did it. It was long overdue.
Yeah, I think one of those schools in that 3 and 4 can do it. It's still impossible for a smaller academy, which I don't know how many are still around, to.
Not many in my area. The only MAI's program that we have left in this area is Columbia Academy. That's it, and the rest of them are either over in the Mississippi River area or in the north, around Jackson.
Yeah, and like a 1A school, like a Stringer. I see they go all over the state too, just kind of like the some of the 7A schools. They're going to Jackson, they're going all this. So anytime you can relieve. Excuse me for my voice today, but anytime you can relieve a little travel on those parents, because if you start a game at 6 o'clock and you don't get out of work to 5 o'clock, and your son's playing an hour and a half away, or your daughter, it is a burden. It is a burden. So, you know,
especially if you're doing it two or three times in like an 8-day period. You know, that you know, especially with the price of gas now. Oh. I mean, it's you know, it's tough.
Yeah, well, you don't get free gas as a sports writer?
No. Dale, you know that better than I do. The one thing we do get, though, are free lunches. I will say that. That's pretty nice.
That is true. That's right. That's why I've never seen a skinny sports writer.
Absolutely. A skinny sports writer is
he ain't going to make it long, is he?
Not very often.
No, he ain't going to make it long. But anyway, okay. Well, let's talk about Southern Miss softball. We don't get to talk about that, but the girls are having a good year, aren't they?
They're having a great year, having a great season. Surprisingly enough, they've done real well for themselves there.
And yeah, I saw where they were like 10-5 in the conference, 29-10 overall, and and that's a pretty good record. I think 29.
That's been a real turnaround for that program there. They've had trouble establishing continuity in you remember back when they first started, when Courtney Blades was the star, and they were they've had trouble getting back to that level there now. So I'm really happy to see that this new regime has come in and really turned things around and put a winner in there, because they deserve it. They've got a good facility over there, and I think they're going to make some noise this year.
Well, that's good. And I was reading too about William Carey softball girls. Wendy Hogue has gone back over there, and she's done
phenomenal. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? I love that Craig Fletcher was gracious enough to I think he and Wendy kind of collaborated on that deal. And I think Craig decided, it's time to back off a little bit, and Wendy still wanted to come back and coach. Hey, more power to her. I love Wendy Hogue. She's one of my favorite people in the whole world there. She's just so sweet and a great coach, just absolutely a wonderful coach.
And
fine Christian lady too.
Just let's break away from the spring sports for just a minute. Tell us about the replacement for Steve Knight at William Carey College in basketball.
E.J. McCray is a great coach. That was a wonderful hire. I wasn't sure whether they were going to promote within. I thought that LaRon Brumfield might have an interest in it. He's the boys coach at Oak Grove, and he's a Carey guy from a long time. But he's pretty much I think he's pretty much said put his roots down at Oak Grove there. But yeah, PJ's a great guy. He's really been the guy that's kind of brought some of this talent in these last 2 or 3 years. It's really put Carey back into the national rankings and of course Steve Knight. What more can you say about Steve Knight? I mean, he's just a legend and a good friend too. Steve Knight and I have come through the days together. He started at Carey a couple of years before I started at the Hattiesburg American, and so we've just kind of been I won't say side by side, but we've always kind of paralleled each other's careers over the last 40 years there, and it was great to see him retire at a high point in his career.
Well, but he may have a few more wins than you as far as that collaboration there.
I think he's got a few more wins than a lot of us there, Dale. And the thing about Steve, that he can be intense, but boy, I tell you what, this kid's love him. I've never met a player of his that didn't love Steve Knight. It's just because he can be rough with him. He can be he can ride him pretty good. But man, I tell you what, they'll walk through walls for him, and it's great that they're moving on within the program there. PJ is going to do a great job with that program. I have all the confidence in the world in him. And I know Tracy English, the athletic director there, as coach, he's watched PJ over the years there. He's been coach assistant there for quite a long time. So yeah, it's going to be I think it's going to be a smooth transition with the Carey men. Of course, now
go ahead.
Of course, with women, of course, Jessica Garriga is the coach now. She was the top assistant. That was a natural progression. So yeah, they've transitioned smoothly, both the men and the women, from longtime legends, Steve Knight and Tracy English both. So the Carey basketball programs are in really good hands.
Yeah, it's just a special place. It's a small school. I ended up there going to get my master's degree, and I just and I loved it then because of the small classes and things like that. But they're very competitive in every single sport. I mean, they win.
But yeah, the thing about Cary, not only Cary. I mean, Cary's athletic program is amazing. I mean, I tell people, they're probably. I'd say they're one of the top 20 NAIA programs in the country. I mean, that's how good. That's how top quality their athletic program is. Their baseball is a World Series contender every year. Softball, same deal. Track. Cross country, they won a national championship in cross country. I mean, this is the soccer. They've won national championships in soccer. They have the men haven't won a championship, but they've been been in irregular in postseason the last few years. So Cary's athletic program is sensational. I can't say enough good things about it.
All right, well, listen, wrap up. I want you to wrap it up in about a minute here. What is wrong with the Golden Eagles baseball team?
Oh my goodness.
1 minute.
USM had such a great start. They were 15-2, and everybody's raving about them. Now they've kind of plateaued a little bit. They're 10-9 in the last 19 games. Lost the series last weekend to Louisiana. They won Friday, then lost 2 games Saturday and Sunday. Kind of a little bit of a rut. I think one issue they've had is the starting pitching hasn't been as consistent as I think they wanted to. Outside of Graydon Harris. He's 6-1 with 60 strikeouts. The bullpen has been great. When they Cam Clark and Colby Allen both have been very good out of the bullpen there. They're hitting the ball really well. Just little things, inconsistencies here and there. I think they'll get. They're too good not to be effective. But I tell you what, the logjam in the Sun Belt. There are a lot of teams within 2 games of second place in the conference. I mean, they're 8-7 in the conference, and there are 4 other teams at 8-7, and 3 others at 7-8. So it's a long way to go in the Sun Belt season. They got, I think, 5 weeks to go, and we'll see how it plays out. I think they're going to be. I still think they got a good chance to host a regional. We'll see how that plays out.
Hey, Stan, this is Marshall. It looks like we've run our course for this evening, our friend. We appreciate you taking time from your schedule and bringing what you bring to the Brouhaha table, buddy. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, as always. There, it's always a pleasure to be on your show. There, we have good, interesting conversations.
Hang on just a second. We're going to take a break to hear from one of our sponsors, and Dale and I will be back with tonight's final segment right after this commercial break. See you after the break.
Phillips Building Supply in Laurel, your hometown building supply store since 1954. We are locally owned and pride ourselves on helping our customers find exactly what they need. From foundations to roofs to doors and windows, Phillips has it. For tools, hardware, lumber, and plywood, visit Phillips Building Supply.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, Dale, Stan knows how to break it down, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's like, they used to have a football player at the University of Kansas named Gale Sayers, and they called him the Kansas Comet.
Kansas Comet.
And Stan's right behind him, buddy.
He was one.
Right behind him.
Nipping at his heels.
He speaks through these interviews, man. I'm telling you what, he don't get paid by the minute. He gets paid by the word.
Oh.
Thank you, Stan, though. Great job.
We appreciate you, brother. I got a question for you, Mr. Sportsman that knows everything.
Really? Yeah.
This is our Mr. Know-It-All section.
Yeah.
And that's not a slant. This is a salute, man. This is a testament to your knowledge of stuff.
Do you know how old I'm getting? There's things that I have forgotten yesterday that I did.
I've forgotten what we're talking about now, so don't get into contest with me. But anywho, speaking of who is everything new? Do you know what that means, everything new? That means who's got the schools with the most national titles across 27 NCAA sports since the year 2000. What university in this great nation of ours has won more NCAA titles, national titles, since 2000? What school?
Can you lead me in one direction? Is it an SEC school?
No.
Okay.
The first one's not. But the second and third one are.
Yeah, well, I would consider Florida to be in second or third.
I'm gonna tell you, folks, y'all don't realize how good this is. That's Florida's second. That's pretty good, Dale. That's impressive. First one's gonna be hard to get there from California. I'll tell you that.
Well, now Florida has a lot of Olympic sports.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a school from California would too.
Stanford is number one.
I was going to say that.
I bet you
Well,
were.
no,
I don't
no.
doubt you
I
don't.
was between Stanford and UCLA, and the only reason I do UCLA, I just know their girls' sports are really good. Basketball, gymnastics, things of that nature.
Number 3 comes in. SEC school. Care to take a wild guess?
Probably Texas.
Got it again, dog. Man, I want to raise your pay.
Okay.
All right.
Let's don't go any further. Don't go any further, okay?
Well, let's go ahead and tell you this. We got a 10. We got Stanford.
Mm-hmm.
We got Florida. Mm-hmm. We got Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go back to California for UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
Back to California for Southern Cal. So that's 3 old Pac-10s
Mm-hmm.
and 2 SECs. But coming in at number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 would be Georgia.
The Bulldogs.
Georgia Bulldogs. And then North Carolina, Virginia, Oregon, LSU at 21, Penn State, Razorbacks, the Wolf, the people that play up there that play such good basketball. UConn, the Huskies. They're right in there pretty good. But anyway, unfortunately, we're about out of time.
Well, I think it's kind of like this too. That final quick question here. I think Texas has they offer over 40 sports, and Ole Miss has less than 20.
Wow.
So that's the biggest reason.
Takes a lot of money to have a bunch of sports, don't it?
Yeah.
Texas has sure got it.
And the thing about it is, my granddaughter lives in Texas,
Wow.
and she didn't understand why University of Texas and Texas A&M doesn't have a gymnastics team.
Well, that kind of surprises me. I didn't know they didn't. You would have thought they'd had one.
Yeah.
But anyway, you get to work that out for your granddaughter. Folks, we're about out of time. We appreciate you being with us tonight. We appreciate Stan the Man being with us, and always, Dale, everything that you bring to the Brouhaha table. It's always been a lot of fun. We'd like to remind you that you can follow us during the week on our Facebook page at the Brouhaha. And we have all the shows cataloged for you where you can listen to them on demand at our YouTube channel, which is also the Brouhaha. But for now, it is time to say goodbye, Dale.
Goodbye, Dale.
Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next week for more of the Brouhaha. Hey, Jamie, get us out of here.
You've been listening to the Brouhaha with Dale McKee and Marshall Wood. Heard Tuesday evening, 6 p.m. on WABO. For more of the Brouhaha, follow us during the week on Facebook and WABO.